Oh, come on.
Incoming hostiles detected. Heavily armored hostile detected.
Welcome guys to another video, another build video, the Praying Mantis build. So, surprise surprise, the main part of this build is the Mantis sniper rifle, the new exotic, which you get at level 55 I think in this month's season. Just come and have a look. There we go, level 55. Everybody can get a Mantis. I'm finding this to be the best sniper rifle. It doesn't do quite as much damage as the Nemesis, but the ease of use and the fact that you can snapshot with it a lot easier makes it much preferable to me. Now there's already some video that you'll have seen of that in action. That was on challenging with 4 active directives, but this is a brilliant sniper rifle. As you can see, I can just pop up, snapshot and down again, which is better than the Nemesis where you have to wait for it to charge up, of course. Now if we have a named here, still one-shotting it, and if we actually change this over to invulnerable, you'll see that I can get 22 million damage. Now it drops significantly when I'm not doing kills because of the build, but we'll go through the build now anyway. We've got the marksman specialisation because you get the additional headshot damage. It's got 1 or 2 other bonuses. I find it very good for sniper type builds. And of course the idea with a sniper build is that you are going to be behind everybody else sniping from the back, and everybody else gets, I think it's 5% extra headshot damage when they're closer to the target than you are. Now I'm just going to change this back to, let's go back to elite for the demonstration here. We'll come back to that in a moment. The Mantis itself, a really nice sniper rifle. As you can see, I've re-rolled mine to be almost god-rolled. We've got 15% marksman rifle damage, 111 headshot damage, and 9% to damage targets out of cover. The talent on this weapon: your scoped view displays additional information about enemies not targeting you. Headshot and weak point damage against enemies not targeting you is amplified by 50%. Headshot kills reset the cooldown of the decoy skill. This bonus will wait until the decoy goes on cooldown if it's currently active. So I'll show this in action. We throw out a decoy. The enemies target the decoy, they're not targeting me. I can then shoot the enemy and you don't see any difference. However, when the decoy runs out, because I've done a headshot kill while it was out, and there's no cooldown at all, and I can just throw another one straight out there. And as long as I do a headshot kill whilst that's active, there's no cooldown, which is perfect because it keeps the attention away from you and you can just snipe the enemies without them realising you're there a lot of the time. Okay, so back to the build. Secondary, I'm using my rock and roll ACS 12 simply because it throws out a lot of damage at close range. If a rusher does come at you and get to melee sort of range, the rock and roll is a great way to deal with that. The build itself is 4 pieces of aces and eights. These have all been modded with headshot damage, so I've got as much headshot damage as I can possibly put on there. You could equally use crit chance, crit damage. In fact, you can see there the gloves in fact have some crit chance on them. But the idea is that you're always trying for headshots on this, and so headshot damage I think is preferable. So I've got 4 pieces of the aces and eights. This of course gives me marksman rifle damage for 2 pieces, extra 30% headshot damage for 3 pieces, and when I land shots, flip a card. After 5 cards are flipped, damage of your next shot's amplified by 30%, and depending on the hand you get more shots at 30% amplification. That makes a big difference as well. However, the chest and back, I have not gone for the aces and eights because with the backpack I've gone with a Providence for headshot damage. This could maybe it would be more perfect if I had crit chance rather than hazard protection, but again the important thing is headshot damage, and we've got vigilance so that I get 25% extra weapon damage as long as I don't get hit, which is ideal. And then my chest piece is Walker Harris & Co. for 5% extra weapon damage and has the perfect headhunter on it. It's the chain killer named chest piece. After killing an enemy with a headshot, your next weapon hit within 30 seconds deals an additional 150% of that killing blow's damage. Damage is capped at 800% of your weapon damage. This is raised to 1250% if your headshot damage is greater than 150%. So it's a scaling thing. The more headshot kills I get, the bigger the damage bonus, up to a maximum of 12.5 times the weapon base damage. This means that it's not uncommon at all for me to be hitting 20 million a headshot, and on most enemies that's a one-shot kill. So the stat, I'm also using the decoy. That's pretty much a given. You've got to use that with the Mantis to take advantage of the Mantis's special ability. And my other skill, not really used, particularly when I'm using the directives where when you use one skill the other one goes on cooldown. But I've got the EMP sticky bomb for dogs, tanks, that sort of thing, just in case I have a problem with them. Then the stats. Okay, as you can see, the weapon base damage, as I've got it set up, is just under 820,000. 20% crit chance, 55.6% crit damage, not so important. 308.7% headshot damage, which is important. And the defensive stats, again, not so important. A little bit of hazard protection on there, but not desperately important. The decoy, 4.2 second cooldown, so it doesn't really make a lot of difference anyway, having, you know, with the Mantis cutting out the cooldown. But it does help. It means you should be able to keep the decoy up pretty much all the time. It's got a 19.3 second duration, 100% threat. You could argue that having a higher tier, skill tier, would improve the threat. But it's not. I'd rather be doing the extra damage with this build, absolutely. You can't really argue with this sort of damage. I mean, I'm just one-shotting these elites for fun here. So that is the Praying Mantis build. As I say, it does a lot of damage. One shot pretty much anything in challenging, most things in heroic, not ideally suited to legendary. I did try it earlier, but it's you're not doing the one-shot kills often enough, so you don't ramp up that constant bonus for headshot kills. But a great sniper build, and currently one of my favourite builds in the game. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy it, please hit the subscribe button, and there will be more build videos to come. Take care.